White outrage about Will Smith's slap is rooted in anti-Blackness. It's inequality in plain sight.
I didn't think I was going to talk about it. I thought, the moment had passed. It's too late. This thing's going to blow over. But the conversation and the aftermath continues. We are going to talk about the slap. Unless you've been living under a rock, I'm sure you know what happened at the Oscars. Chris Rock was hosting and he made a joke about Jada Smith starring in G.I. Jane 2.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it.
Her head's shaved and the character in G.I. Jane 2 has a shaved head. But apparently Chris Rock didn't know that Jada Smith suffers from alopecia. So he made the joke. Will Smith actually he was laughing at first. And then Jada was like rolling her eyes. And then you just see Will's like walking up on the stage and he slaps Chris Rock. And then he goes and walks back to his seat. And then he starts yelling, "Get my wife's name out of your effing mouth." The whole thing was just awkward. Initially, when I first saw it, I thought, okay, this is like planned or whatever. And it's, and that's what the audience thought too, because they were just like laughing at first and that. And then it's like the mood just changed when he started yelling because everyone realized, oh my gosh, that was not staged, like that was real. I just wanted to talk about the situation because a lot is playing out here of what occurred. I am not great yet at these like commentary videos. It just takes me so much time editing to fix the raw footage because I just go on tangents and I feel like I don't speak clearly. I wrote a script for myself. I've done that before and then I try to go off script because I'm trying to like look at the camera and it just goes south. And then I really don't want to have to edit for hours and hours to fix. If I'm looking like I'm reading something, it's my own words. It's not an article. I'm going to be quoting from an article, but for my whole video, I wrote a whole script. So I'm going to try and look at the camera when I can, but let's just go because I don't want this to turn into like 30 minutes of footage and I'm already getting off freaking task here. So my opinions of this whole thing is slapping someone for saying words, not okay. Apparently Chris Rock didn't know about the alopecia, but I don't think the intent matters. You don't get to physically assault someone for making a joke. However, I don't think Will Smith's Oscar should get taken away. I think that's kind of separate to the whole incident, him winning that award and the role that he played in his acting. And I think that's just sort of like separate to what happened at the award show. So I don't think his Oscar should get taken away. I don't really think anything meaningful or productive legally can be done at this point, as in Will Smith getting charged, unless Chris Rock was injured from it, which it seems like he's not. Of course, Chris Rock could press charges if he wanted to because he was physically assaulted and that's a criminal offense, but he didn't decide to press charges. If he decided to, I would respect his decision and he has a right to. There's talk about the state of California going after Will Smith and pressing charges. I think they can if they wanted to, but my point was I don't really think anything productive would come of that. I think Will Smith knew he was breaking the law. I think he knew what he was doing. Yeah, and he's rich. And so him having to pay money would just be meaningless for him, I think. So I don't think it would really make a difference. I think the problem was that Will Smith was able to go up on stage, assault someone, and then go right back to his seat for the remainder of the show. Went on to win Best Actor for his role in King Richard, which he received a standing ovation from the audience when they announced his name. And then he gave this whole speech about defending, protecting, and loving people. He apologized to the Academy and his fellow nominees, but there was no apology for Chris Rock. So the aftermath of this whole ordeal has been rather interesting. Most people seem to be condemning Will Smith for his actions, but there are also people defending him and even those alluding to the backlash as being racist. So there are people defending Will, saying that he was just defending his wife. There's this article here, the headline reads, "Will Smith slap sparks debate on defense of Black women." At the bottom of this article here, it says, "The history of Black women being used as the butt of jokes in front of predominantly white audiences for the sake of a laugh and with no regards for Black women and girls' humanity is something that this country has done for so long. This at least has people talking for good or bad reasons." This article sort of saying that what Chris Rock did was, also Chris Rock is Black, so I don't know, this doesn't make much sense to me, but apparently like what he did was more than just like making a joke about her. Like it was like he specifically made a joke about her because she's like a black woman or something. Like she's the butt of his joke because she's black, which doesn't make much sense because they joke about like everyone. If Chris Rock was up there, like he like specifically like only making jokes about black women, I could see a point there or something, but there's no evidence for that. It just doesn't really make sense. So yeah, I know some people think like, oh, well, he was defending her because you shouldn't joke about a black woman's alopecia. Again, like he didn't even was aware of that, but it like the dig, you know, it is a medical condition and it's a sensitive thing. But anyways, that's some people's take on it. White outrage about Will Smith's slap is rooted in anti-Blackness. It's inequality in plain sight. Okay. For one thing, Wanda Sykes, who is black, she called the incident sickening and claimed she's traumatized by it.
Sickening. It was absolutely, I physically felt ill, and I'm still a little traumatized by it.
For another thing, Will Smith hit another black man, but white people condemning the actions of someone physically assaulting Chris Rock, a black man, is racist. It's racist. That's super racist now. It must be absolutely exhausting being so woke that you have to do mental gymnastics to spin anything and everything into being racist and must express how horrible white people are any chance you get.
Well, it's like one of those charts where it's like you're trying to get to the center. The center is white racism. And you start off with here, black man slaps other black man over a joke about a woman. Misogyny is rooted in white supremacy. Okay, let's go to that. Outrage is on television, which is racist, and it's all racist.
Yeah.
It's just ironic who we're calling racist here, but I guess you can't be racist to white people, right? So most people agree the slap shouldn't have happened, but there's something that feels precious at best and downright racist at worst about white people's reaction to the now infamous smack. It would seem that there's a layer of hyperviolence that's being projected onto Smith simply because he is a black man who was defending his black wife. Well, was he simply defending Jada? I don't think he was simply defending her. He could have used his words and just said like, hey, my wife has alopecia and that joke is really insensitive and hurtful and you shouldn't have made it or whatever. Like that would be like defending her, but going up and smacking him, she's not in any physical threat. So I don't know how that action would defend his wife. This article contains absolutely no evidence, but just baseless assumptions that white people's strong reactions to the violence are because Will Smith is black. The writer of this article, Teo Barrow, is basically assuming that if it was a white man slapping someone, the white people would react differently. I think people would be pretty outraged the same whether it was a black guy or white guy hitting someone. Honestly, the white people would probably be more outraged if it was a white guy hitting a black guy in the middle of an award show on national television. This article goes as far as saying it says it's clear that the backlash against Smith is rooted in not just anti-Blackness, but respectability politics as well. I didn't even know the term respectability politics, so I actually had to look it up what it meant. And I guess it's like a concept of black people conforming, acting differently to get more acceptance by white people or something, like acting on like their best behavior, whatever freaking color you are. Like in this instance, like that act, like what he did was wrong. So I don't know how respectability politics is at play here. I think we expect people to be respectful enough at these award shows to not go slap people at them, but I don't know, it's racist. So where I think the outrage is coming from, where I think the problem really is that Will Smith was able to go up on stage, physically assault someone, and then continue on as if nothing happened. Apparently he was asked to leave, but he wasn't formally told to do so. But new info is coming out by the hour as this whole thing plays out. The Academy, so they had claimed that Smith was asked to leave the event, receiving criticism by claims that Smith was never formally asked to leave. The Academy is standing by their original statement. I think being asked to leave and then being formally told to do so are two different things. First of all, who asked him to leave? Was it actually a member of the academy, or was it his publicist? Like, did an academy member tell his publicist, hey, you should go tell Will to leave? Like, was it direct or was it indirectly? I think the academy is wrong here in this situation for not taking proper action, and they seem like now they're trying to save face. If anything, he clearly had a choice in staying. Now, this is just me speculating about what could have come into play here based on the academy's actions that night. I think it would be a very bad look in the eyes of the woke for the academy to have escorted out a black man from the event, no matter what the reason. And I don't doubt that something like that could fuel an already white supremacist ideology. I don't doubt that that could happen. Something like that could happen, you know? It's not a good representation. I guess I'm just like curious, like, was that at all a factor that played into the academy's decision that night to kind of passively deal with the situation? If someone, no matter what color they are, like if they commit like a criminal act, there's repercussions for that. There's consequences of that, right? Will Smith was emotionally hinged that night, and humans are all prone to strong emotions and acting out of character. Jada Smith has been quite public about her struggles with alopecia and how it has affected her emotionally. Having someone joke about it publicly, whether intending to or not, must hurt. And I think there was a lot building up to why Will did what he did. Being famous people, but also publicizing a lot of their life. The Smiths are no stranger to public scrutiny, online trolls, and being the butt of people's jokes. And when Chris Rock hosted the Oscars in 2016, he made a dig at Jada Smith then as well. But as far as Will defending his wife, I think the person that needs some defense out of the whole situation was Chris Rock. When Will Smith yelled at Chris Rock to keep his wife's name out his effing mouth, did he mean that if Chris didn't, he would strike again? Being subject to physical assault for a poor joke and then being loosely threatened if it happens again. The Oscars was not a safe space for Chris Rock. If your joke just got you slapped and you were now supposed to go tell more jokes, that person that physically hurt you needs to have been removed from the space. So again, I don't think Will Smith's Oscar should get taken away. I think action needed to have been taken that night. Will Smith's facing like a lot of public scrutiny, and it's definitely like impacting him, and you know, he's gonna have to really reflect on this situation. It really seemed like he didn't understand what he did was wrong that night. Like, I don't know how he feels about it now. He did issue a apology publicly to Chris Rock via Instagram, but when he went up there and he did his acceptance speech, it was just very hypocritical, talking about like protecting people and loving people and all this. Like, it just didn't really make sense for what had transpired, like, you know, minutes before that. But yeah, he's dealing with the public condemning him for his actions, and he's going to have to deal with that. And in this situation, I think that is sufficient. I'm sure, if anything, this is going to be a huge learning experience for Will, and it's just been interesting to see this all play out and how society is reacting to this situation. But anyways, that's all I got to say about it. So if you enjoyed this discussion, please click the thumbs up, and I want to know what you guys think. Comment down below. If you want to stay around for more commentary videos like this, hit the subscribe button, click the bell, choose the all from the drop down menu so you get updated when I upload. Love you guys. We will see you in the next video. Toodles.